request that everyone turn off their cell phones for the duration of the meeting. As we have members of council participating electronically, I'll ask the clerk to do a roll call to begin the meeting. Members of council are to respond verbally to the roll call and when voting on all matters today. Madam Clerk.
Okay, Councillor Bush.
Present.
Councillor Carlucci.
Present.
Councillor Martin McKinnon.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Shane McKinnon.
Present.
Councillor McKay. Not with us. Councillor Price.
Present.
Thank you. Oh, and Mayor Wilson is not with us either. Okay, thank you.
To convene our meeting, I'd request the acting clerk to ask for someone to make that motion and a seconder.
Okay, I need a mover and a seconder for the motion to convene this special meeting of council.
I'll move it.
Councillor
I
Price.
second it.
Okay. Councillor Price and Councillor Carlucci. Okay, so
All in favor?
I got to read the motion.
Oh, sorry.
Moved by Councillor Price, seconded by Councillor Carlucci, that council convene a special open meeting of council for the purpose of discussing the following items. Under staff reports, bylaws, and motions, there's staff report 80-2020-10 to amend the council procedural bylaw regarding electronic meetings and declared emergencies. Associated with that is bylaw 47-18-2020. And we also have bylaw 47-19-2020, which is the confirmatory bylaw for this meeting.
All in favor?
Yes.
We need it verbally.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And yes.
Yes, good.
And as far as the agenda for today's meeting, I'd like to call for declarations of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof and of the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act with respect to the agenda for this meeting. Hearing none, I would like to ask Ms. Eiler to present her staff report.
Okay, good morning. This report is recommending council approve changes to Schedule F of the council procedural bylaw to allow members of council to participate in open and closed committee of the whole and council meetings electronically and to be counted for purposes of quorum during emergencies declared by the province or head of council. As you know, council's procedural bylaw allows for up to 3 members of council to participate electronically in open committee of the whole and council meetings, although they don't count in establishing quorum. The current COVID-19 situation led the province to amend the Municipal Act to allow members of council to take part in both open and closed meetings electronically and to be counted for the purposes of quorum if an emergency has been declared under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act by the province or the head of council. The amendment allows municipalities the ability to conduct meetings electronically when they're faced with local or province-wide emergencies, enabling them to respond quickly when in-person meetings can't be held. In order to take advantage of the provisions provided by the province, municipalities need to incorporate them into their procedural bylaws. As you'll see, the staff report includes a bylaw to amend the procedural bylaw by adding bullet point number 20, which I will read aloud. It says the declaration of an emergency by the province or head of council under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act will allow members of council to participate in open and closed committee of the whole and council meetings electronically and to be counted for the purposes of quorum. Members shall use the technology options identified in bullet 2 above for electronic participation in an emergency situation and shall vote verbally. The declaration of an emergency would also override bullets 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 17 above. In the case of meetings held during a declared emergency, the meeting location will be considered a virtual location, allowing the public to attend or view the meeting remotely. Are there any questions about this?
Questions, Mr. Nesbitt? Did you have any comments on these changes?
Not much for comments. I guess we've taken just a quick, I think, cut at amending the procedural bylaw to allow us to leverage the new legislation. if we deem further changes necessary, we can look at the procedural bylaw in a more, I think, complete approach down the road. But for now, this should allow us to leverage the new legislation that allows remote council meetings.
Okay, thank you. Questions from anyone?
Just, through the chair.
Councillor Bush.
Yes, I don't have any questions on the procedures. I think they sound fairly straightforward. But as we go forward and we look at future meetings, is our thinking that we will maintain our regular schedule of meetings in the short term going forward through April, et cetera, and supplement them by special meetings under this provision, or have we thought that far ahead yet?
And that's directed at Madam Clerk?
Yeah, Madam Clerk or the CAO.
I believe Roger spoke to that a little bit yesterday, so I'll let him go on with.
Sure, through the chair. We're currently in the process of scheduling another special meeting as soon as we can amend our procedural bylaw to allow for remote council meetings, or at least forming quorum remotely.
Sorry, could I interrupt, Roger? I'm sorry to interrupt, but your microphone is really scratchy. I can't really hear what you're saying.
Is this better?
I think so.
Maybe, is it tucked in?
Maybe just hold it, yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's much better, thanks.
Okay, I'll start over. So we're in the process of actually scheduling another special meeting later this week. Council will be notified of that shortly. We're going to continue to hold special council meetings as we need to deal with the current situation. And we'll also, use those special meetings to address any other, I guess, more regular business that we need to address through council. We can hold 2 regular scheduled council meetings, but there may be instances if we address the regular business through special meetings, we may not have any agenda items for said regular scheduled meetings. But again, we're willing to take any input from council on that.
Thank you. Councillor Carlucci.
Through the chair, just how you said that the public's going to get involved on these meetings. How do we do that? Is the process in place already? Or they're watching on TV, but they don't get to see us live, or do they?
The meeting is streamed live. It's being streamed live right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
So through the chair, and just to I guess clarify that, any council members attending remotely, well, really any member, meeting member attending remotely, the audio is available to the public, but the video that we now see within council chambers is not available from the standpoint of those remote members, the video from those attendees. So your audio is available, but your video is not.
Okay, thanks.
Which is why we're asking for verbal votes and a roll call.
Anyone else?
Yes, just Councillor McKinnon.
Yes, Councillor Bush.
Just another question slash comment, I guess. With respect to special meetings that come up due to the COVID-19 emergency, etc., I realize that there are going to be some short notice meetings that are perhaps more informational, or we have to make quick decisions. But where we have more regular agenda items, I would just ask that we have enough time to adequately prepare for items that are coming up, a few days rather than a day or two, just to make sure that for regular business that we put a little bit of thought into it, or have the opportunity to put a bit of thought into it, rather than wedge them into special meetings where other topics are being discussed. That would be my own comment.
Thank you. That be noted.
That's noted.
Anyone else? I have 2 questions. The first one is advising delegations and presentations of our distancing and the fact that they have to, if they're invited or on the agenda, they have to attend remotely. We'll be advising them of that in our correspondence.
To date, we don't have anybody in that situation, but
If we
we'll
go back
cover
to
that
regular
off.
meetings, we will.
We'll cover that off as necessary.
Through the chair, I
Mr.
think we
Nesbitt?
would want to scrutinize the importance of those presentations or delegations during
Right.
this time.
Okay. And secondly, the provisions of this bylaw end when the emergency ends, as I read. Did I not?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, so we're looking for a mover and a seconder for these bylaws changes.
Correct. We have a-
I can move it.
Oh, my God. Councillor Martin McKinnon is a mover.
John.
John?
Councillor Carlucci,
We'll
second?
give Councillor Carlucci the second one on that one as
No,
well.
is that for all the changes, or do we need 4? Are they under one bylaw?
They're all under one bylaw.
Okay.
Yeah. The bylaw, okay, so moved by Councillor Martin McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Carlucci, that bylaw 4718-2020 being a bylaw to amend Chapter 47, council procedures by amending Schedule F, electronic participation at open council and committee of the whole meetings, with the addition of point number 20 pertaining to electronic participation during declared emergencies be read a first, second, and third time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Verbally?
Aye.
Thank you.
Councillor Price, aye.
Councillor Price was an aye. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And our confirmatory bylaw, need a mover and a seconder, please?
I'll move.
Councillor Price. Need a
I'll
second.
second.
Councillor Bush. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Price, seconded by Councillor Bush, that bylaw 4719-2020 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council be read a first, second, and third time.
Verbal vote, aye.
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 Thank you.
And we need a mover and a seconder for adjournment.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Price and Councillor Martin McKinnon. Moved by Councillor Price, seconded by Councillor Martin McKinnon, that this meeting do hereby adjourn.
Verbal vote, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
It's
Thank you.
unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.